And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here for the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. The current Pop Culture Cosmos has thoughts on the box office success for Devil Wears Prada 2, another Resident Evil, and is GameStop buying eBay? Well, we'll have another one set up for you tomorrow morning as far as the PC Multiverse, where TJ Johnson and I talk about the Hulk Hogan documentary Mortal Kombat, which is coming to theaters this weekend. Mortal Kombat 2, actually. So go ahead. I've actually seen the movie earlier today and I have some thoughts on it, but I'll save that for Monday's show. So again, we preview that and a whole bunch more. Go right there on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, want to go ahead and share some love for my friend at Trip Show Shop on Instagram, Twitter, and wherever you get your social media. You see the Kobe pillow, you see the Kobe canvas art, you see the Lucas canvas art behind me. Go ahead, and if you want something detailed like that, or something in the realm of sports or pop culture, just go ahead and reach out to my main man at Trip Show Shop on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, or wherever you get your social media as well. Big shout out to my friend Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, and also as well, of course, everybody who does such a great job on their shows that comes on this show and takes their time out of the day to go ahead and talk Lakers with us. The Joe Soro experiment has had his show last night. Was that a scary thumbnail to you as well? I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. I kind of got freaked out by it. I think Joe was trying to channel his inner William Peterson from CSI. I think I'll mention that to him when he comes on the air here. So go ahead and check out the latest Joe Soro experiment where he talks about the Dodgers, the Steelers, and of course the Lakers as well. Don't forget my friend John Costa with Clutch Talk and of course his 3-minute report on Lakers Corner. He will be not here tonight. But go ahead and check out his 3-minute report, anyways, at Lakers Corner as well. Yes, Brian Ponce is happy about the Thunder. Unfortunately, I cannot share those same sentiments. It is a big challenge, one part of it at least, big challenge for the Lakers. But boo Thunder, as far as for me is concerned. But Reeves is back. Had a good game, but it was all for naught. As the Lakers came into game 2, needing a win. I said already before we started the series that the Lakers needed to split in OKC and get game 3 in LA. First half kind of looked like they might be able to do some things as they came back from an early deficit to actually take the lead and take the lead by 1 point at the half. Third quarter, they were up by as many as 5, and then the bottom fell out as the Thunder went on a run. 36-22, they got outscored in that pivotal third quarter. Fourth quarter, they came back and made a valiant comeback to get within 5 of the Oklahoma City Thunder, but the depth, I think, really comes into play here of what the Lakers don't have and what the Oklahoma City Thunder does have. Because if you're Mark Dagnall, the coach of the Thunder, you just keep trying new pieces and seeing which one sticks. And today, that new piece was Jared McCain, who has actually had a decent game before. In game 1, came off the bench, 7-11, 18 points, 4 or 5 from 3. Cason Wallace came off the bench as well, 4 or 7 overall, 2 or 3 from 3. Combined, 6 of 8 from 3 from those guys coming off the bench, giving them 30 points off the bench right there, not counting anything else from Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, and Isaiah Joe, what they contributed as well. AJ Mitchell chipped in with 20, but it was Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander once again leading the way with 22. The Lakers did have a comeback of sorts from Austin Reeves, who did show up today as far as his offense is concerned, 10 of 16, 3 of 6 from 3. He shot the way that Joe Soro has been asking him to shoot, efficient from the outside and selective, and got his layups, got in where he wanted to as far as the spots, plus also got to the free throw line, scored 31 points, 6 assists. LeBron James chipped in with 23, 9-18 shooting overall, but the Lakers needed a superior performance from more than just one guy, and they just couldn't get it. And Luke Kennard, the only guy off the bench, well, actually Jackson Hayes as well. Jackson Hayes contributed early with 6 points himself, 3 rebounds, and a steal. Luke Kennard got 10 on 2 of 3 behind the arc. Rui Hashimura chipped in with 16, 4 7 from 3. But yes, it was just not enough as the Lakers, once they got it to 5, a Chet Holmgren 3 put this thing out of reach, and they just distanced themselves. And again, the sheer depth of OKC, where they're able to go ahead and just find pieces that the Lakers cannot, was just too overwhelming for the Lakers once again, and they pulled away from the Lakers 125 to 107. They now lead the series 2-0. It now heads back to Los Angeles for game 3. Nick T, I guess the DeAndre Ayton experience has now slid down as far as up and down on that DeAndre Ayton experience roller coaster. It is now going down with a miserable performance today, 3 points, but 10 rebounds, but not much on the offensive end because of 1 of 7. Did not match up well, the Lakers centers against Chet Holmgren, as I had talked about on Lakers Latest, the show that I do, the other channel devoted to the Lakers that I do. So just not enough, as the Lakers could not find their way into the winner's circle today, and they lose 125 to 107. Valiant effort after they had a defeating third quarter to get back in the game and get down to a 5-point deficit, but just you could just tell it just was not enough. Craig says no rebounding, and we lose. I think it really also comes down to what I was looking at earlier was the stats, the points conceded off of turnovers. So the Lakers had 21 turnovers, OKC had 14. Lakers only got 14 points off of those turnovers. The OKC Thunder, 26 points off the Lakers' 21 turnovers. As I talked about on Lakers Latest leading into the series, they had to not give up the ball. They had to take care of the ball, and they did not do that today. 21 turnovers, that led to 26 points, a 12-point differential there. That is a key part of what went on. Rebounds, when you look at the rebounds, Craig, they only got out rebounded by 2. Offensive rebounds were a wash, 10-9 for the Lakers, and the defensive rebounds, 23. Rebounds weren't really that much of an issue. It was the sloppy play and the turnovers that really did the Lakers in, plus the depth of what Mark Dagnall could go to, finding players time and time in that could go ahead and give contributions, with Cason Wallace and Jared McCain getting it done today. And here today to go ahead and talk about today's game is a good man indeed. Of course, it is the guy behind I Got Next Sports Media. It is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Legend, great to have you here. I know some spirits were high when I was looking on social media and interacting with everyone and seeing how positive they were that the Lakers had actually taken a lead in at halftime, and in the third quarter had extended to 5. But you were just waiting for the bottom to fall out at some point. If you watch long enough, you're just unfortunately waiting for the bottom to fall out. And about halfway through the third quarter, it did. It proved to be an insurmountable lead. The Lakers tried valiantly to come back in that fourth quarter, brought it down to 5, but it's the sheer depth of and the variation of things that Mark Dagnall can utilize as far as his whole entire roster is concerned, compared to what JJ can use with his, is a problem indeed as well for the Los Angeles Lakers going forward.
I will definitely say this first. Good to see Austin Reeves, showed up to the series. So good that he showed up tonight. But yeah, it's the depth. The depth is too much, man. The depth is just too much. And yeah, the referees don't call a lot of bad stuff tonight. But the depth to me is the biggest gap. It's not the starters, it's the depth. They can go 12 man deep. And if you know basketball, you keep it real with yourself. The Lakers can't do that. There's no way you can do that. And that's the biggest difference to me. Gerald, I'm gonna tell you the truth. when they was up by, I forgot how much Lakers was up by.
They were up by as many as 5 in this game, if my recollection is
Okay,
correct.
that's what I thought it was 5 or 6. I figured 5. When they was up by that many points, I knew going into that second half, they're gonna lose this lead. The depth is gonna begin to show up, and the depth is gonna show that difference, and that's exactly what happened. Almost like an instant replay of game one, honestly. Close game, first half, second half, OKC depth start spreading apart, and that's what ended up happening. It's just the lack of depth, and it's hard to beat that. It's hard. At that point, all you can do is put your hands in the air and say, what much else can you do? You got role players out there knocking down the threes, clutch shots, up and under and driving to the basket. Like, you don't have that. You just don't have it. And it's killing you right now. And at this point, try to get yourself one game, because it's getting closer and closer to get ready to pull them brooms out the closet, looking like it's getting close to that point. But that's, to me, the biggest thing. It's the depth. I think it's more of the depth than even the turnovers. It's the depth. They're too deep. Just too deep. There's ain't much they can do.
Caliph usually is on Mondays with me on NBA Observations. We recorded one earlier this week, and he usually comes on Mondays. So if you want to check that out, I usually post that with him. If he wants to come on, he usually is able to message me if he can come on a live post game for us. But I'm not sure if he's indicated if he can or not. But again, it's always great when he can stop by. Always great when Legend can stop by as well from I Got Next Sports Media. But I know the arguments with the refs continue for the Lakers. The calls that they challenged during the course of the game. And the end result, obviously, when you see them down by, again, lower double digits as far as 18 points again, was it? 18 points again. What a shock. It wasn't the difference in the game. It obviously doesn't help your cause, but it doesn't help. The Lakers, yes, they did lose the free throw battle, but SGA had under 10 free throws again. That's all I asked. I asked going into the playoffs that the refs see things more clearly as far as what SGA was doing. And he was flopping clearly in game one. I mean, it's all over Twitter how bad some of the flops were in game one. He was a little bit more refined and got more chances at the free throw line, but still under 10 free throws, you give yourself a chance because he's not exploiting you. In fact, Austin Reeves got more free throws than him. And again, the calls on the Lakers at various times weren't the greatest. I get that. I understand that. I guess it's us being a homer, but that, when you look at it, Legend, you indicated that a couple of the calls were suspect as well. But again, when it comes right down to it, put all that aside, still the Lakers just don't have as many options to choose from to score the basketball as OKC does. And when you play sloppy basketball and have 21 turnovers again, I said this before, you got away with 44 turnovers in Houston in 2 games by splitting, and you got a win out of that. You weren't going to do it again if you get over 20 turnovers against a team like OKC.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Gerald. I mean, what you did against the Houston Rockets is not going to work here. This is leaps and bounds better than Houston Rockets. I mean, right now, that's what I kind of kept saying for the longest. And I've seen some Laker fan mention about trying to get Giannis. I'm like, Giannis is not what you need right now. You're getting your ass kicked because you have no depth. You need depth right now. You need to go get some pieces. Get some dudes who can come off your bench and give you points. Love Marcus Smart, but anywhere else, like a team like Oklahoma or the Spurs, Marcus Smart is probably coming off your bench, not in your starting lineup. There's some dudes in your lineup that shouldn't be there. That's the truth. You gotta go get some better role players, or slide some of the dudes you got in your starting lineup, put them on your bench, and go get better starters for your squad. It's got to be one or the other. I think that's what they really need to do this off season, because the depth part is what's killing you in this series. To me, the starting lineup's about equal out with each other. It's just the depth. Like, I don't know if you noticed too, Gerald, but every time when that bench came in the game, it just like, well, here the disaster part comes. Here it comes. They finna light them up. Here it comes.
And if you're Well, if
You
you're a
know,
big believer, my friend, in the plus minus, Luke Kennard, Jackson Hayes, and Jake LaRavia were all minus double digits today. But the starting lineup had some minus double digits as well with Rui and Austin Reeves and LeBron James as well. They, but like you said, off the bench, JJ leading up to the game said that the Lakers lost the minutes when SGA was not in the lineup and not on the bench, and that's again that's a problem. That
it's a
speaks to
big
the
problem.
depth of OKC and a point of contention when you have to take advantage when SGA is not on that floor.
That to me is when I would have been probably the most concerned. SGA is not in the game. You're still losing. That is disastrous right there. To me, that's like out of the two games you played, you got just about blown out in both of them. And the fact that their best player is on the bench and you still losing, that should tell you everything you need to know. Your depth is getting killed. It's your depth. The depth is the biggest issue you have right now. And that's what you really need to try to go get this offseason. Because that's really the telling of this series. The fact that I think they lost by 18 tonight. Was it like
Yes,
18, 17? Okay,
they've
18.
lost 18 in both games.
That's crazy. It's the same thing. That's why I'm like, you basically saw game one and game two like the same thing, just about. The defensive plan is pretty much working on this year, forcing some turnovers, cutting down on certain spots of the areas. But them others are kicking your butt right now. And that's where the issue is at. They're gonna have to do something about that depth this offseason. That's why I look at some of the pieces on the team. Some of you guys, you just can't bring them back. You gotta improve it. You gotta do something because it just ain't working. You can see it right now. And Jake LaRavia, boy, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Jake LaRavia. He's might well put Bronny James in the game at this point. Can't do no worse. I mean,
John Costa again. He won't be here tonight, but somewhere he's patting himself on the back because he
yeah.
he told you guys. A lot of guys were. Joe even was a big supporter of Laravia because of his hustle and his energy. I was on the fence again. I saw what I saw the first 2 years where he was a disappointment in Memphis as far as a guy who wasn't living up to his draft status. His third year, he had a promising year. That's what Rob was basing it on when he signed him, that he would improve upon what he built on in his third year. But now he's regressed to even worse shooting than what he did in his first 2 years in the league when he was a draft disappointment. So uh, it's a shame. It's a shame because and JY again, all Legends alluding to is talent. It's based off of talent. Doesn't matter where it comes from or who it comes from. It just matters about acquiring enough talent to match up against an OKC or San Antonio. And clearly, there's a talent gap right now in the league, especially in the Western Conference, Legend. And I know Nick T, we disagree on a lot of things, but blowing up the Lakers and rebuilding it from scratch is not something you should think about lightly or pass off lightly, because if you're this far away from the Oklahoma City Thunder now with your best talent, even if Luka's right there, you got to think maybe you're not just good enough and you should think about trying different avenues to build this team going forward.
Yeah, I think that's something they should really sit down and think about. I'm thinking even if Luca was there, probably don't lose by 18, but maybe you lose by 8, 6, 7 points, something like that. But I feel like you still probably lose this game just because of the lack of depth. And I still can't wrap up my mind. Philadelphia really gave them Jared McCain. I can't believe they did that. It's hard to believe that Philadelphia did that. You might need him right now, honestly. You might wish you had him. But hard to believe too that he didn't really get
When
no
they
playing
missed
time
all
this
those
year.
shots down low at the end of the game in New York at MSG, and that when they were tied 99-99, they missed three or four straight threes, and they got I think outscored 9-2 in the final 2 minutes. Legend, yeah, I think they could have used.
Mm, that's just crazy. And the part what made Oklahoma even more dangerous. Don't they got a couple of lottery picks in this draft?
Yes, they do. Actually, I'm sorry. One's a lottery pick. One's like 17th, I think, as far as for
I still
OKC.
be scared of that 17 pick because of Sam Presti done such a good job in the draft. Better hope that lottery pick don't end up being number one or top 5.
What's up, sports baby? What's everyone out there? Appreciate you being here. It is the Lakers, unfortunately, losing today, 125 to 107. Nick T, Craig, Black, Xbox, JY, Allen. Great to have you here. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Truly appreciate it. Grayson, I know you got the sweeps and the brooms out there. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you on that because it was something where a lot of us picked OKC in 4 or 5. You know, as much as we wanted to go ahead and say, could the Lakers surprise? I said right away the Lakers had to have split Legend in OKC and get game 3 in order to have a chance in this series. We're now heading back to LA with the series and the Lakers down 0-2. And the only thing you could say at this point is they better win game 3 because they're, as we remember from last series, no one ever comes back in the NBA from down 3-0.
Yeah, not splitting OKC is pretty much a disaster because now you're down 0-2. Game 3 is to me at this point, it's your season. You lose game 3, you're not beating this team for a straight time. It's just a matter of time at that point. It's pretty much over at that point. I mean, it might be over now, honestly, but game 3 pretty much nailed in the coffin at that point. I mean, what makes it worse too, Gerald, is you lost to this team 6 straight times. When does it get to the point of it's mental? It starts becoming mental to you that I can't beat this thing. Kind of like the Denver Nuggets situation. You keep losing so many times that it just becomes mental at that point. And it is hard to say, even being down 0-2, it is hard to believe that you can win 4 out of 5 to a team that you lost to 6 straight times. Kind of hard to believe it, but like crazy things happen. But game 3 is pretty much it. I mean, this is it. Like you lose that, yeah, I'm gonna go to my closet and pull out the broom at that point because it's over. It's how it's gonna end. And I will say one thing. I will say this, Jared. Maybe there is some good that might come out of it. It forces Mark Walter and them to kind of look at Rob Plink and be like, "We got to do better than this." What we just saw in this series is it disgusting. You got to do better than this. This ain't it at all. It might make them forced to make really, really hard looks and hard conversation to something, especially when you got all that cap space.
And remember, Legend, I not only read all the comments that are coming up right now, I read all the comments that are made after the fact on this channel. I read all the comments come up in Lakers Latest and all that. When it comes to LeBron, I know JY just mentioned that you've got to do we really have to bring him back? That's a debate for a lot of people for another day. I'm not going to have this debate now, whether or not you bring back a guy that's going to be 42 years old next year, or do you try to move on? It's just clear, Legend. When you see, and I said on Lakers Latest, but the other channel that I do and that you see shows every morning, I said, get the ball out of SGA's hands, have him do less, and try to see if they can win with OKC trying to utilize other ways and other players to go ahead. Let's see how deep this talent pool is for OKC. And I gotta admit, it's pretty deep. Chet Holmgren was the one I wanted to see if you could go ahead and he could make plays consistently and if he can make shots consistently in this type of setting. And so far, he's passed with flying colors. But I'd say do it again because where would you rather go? Would you rather go with the ball in his hands more often or SGA's? And frankly, you don't have many choices. And so it goes one way or it goes the other. And right now, Chet's having a great series. The guys coming off the bench are having a great series. It's hard to, even with SGA not playing at a full SGA level, it hasn't slowed down OKC at all in the second halves of both these games.
And Gerald, to me, that's the biggest part that I would be discouraged the most about. The fact that he's not even having an MVP game and you still losing by 18. At that point, I'm like, what else can you do at that point? You basically, I wouldn't say completely shutting down, but you're slowing who's going to be MVP. You're slowing them down pretty much. He ain't being shut down, but at least slowed down. But these others they're killing you. So it's like, what else can you do? Either you double team him or you try to slow down the others. But if you do that, and he's gonna go off on you. So it's almost like, what else can you do at this point? And then if you really want to get discouraged, you got to think of the fact is Williams not even out there. He's not even out there. That makes it worse. Like at that point, you just put your hands up and say, what else can you do at that point? Like, what else can you really do at this point with this thing? Like you just do good if you just get one win at this point. You did good just to get that. So it's like it's just too many weapons on that team. It's just I give JJ credit though. I think to me he is shown he might be the future coach for the Lakers though. I think that is one positive thing coming out this series, out this playoff run. JJ has grown a lot as a coach. Yeah, you guys might got y'all coach.
Robert Wheeler, you're not going to like this answer, Robert. Y'all mentioned the main reason the Lakers are losing is because of the depth of OKC. Pretty apparent there, and I think you even see it as well. Doesn't this mean that LA has a great chance to win Game 3 since role players play worse on the road? The answer, no. One word, no. Because you just mentioned it, Legend. SGA hasn't even worked out into form yet. That's the scary part. So if the role players on OKC don't don't play as well as they did in OKC, guess what? That probably means you're not going to be able to slow down SGA and he takes over instead.
That is most likely what's gonna happen. And he's gonna be the one to step up. I think Chet's gonna show up and then we'll see what the others do, but I wouldn't be surprised if they still show up. They showed up in Phoenix when they were playing against the Suns, so they ain't had no problem showing up then. But it is what it is. I mean, that might be your best bet. You just hope and pray that they slow down when they come to LA. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you other than pull out the Bible and pray to God and hope maybe you get something happen because this don't look good right now. Game 3 is your season at that point.
Game 3 is the season indeed, because again, no team has in the NBA has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. I know that was bandied about several times in the last playoff round for the Lakers, but again, it bears repeating. No one has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. So Game 3 will be important. The Lakers have to give a better effort. I don't know how, Legend, because I've seen great effort from this team in both Game 1 and Game 2 for most of both of those games. The problem is it's just the talent. The talent is they just don't have as many options the Lakers do that can score points and defend at a high level consistently, whereas OKC seemingly can just hit any number of buttons that they can. Oh, Isaiah Joe, he's not playing much. Oh, but we'll bring him in. He'll start hitting threes. Oh, Alex Caruso, he's going to go in. He's not going to get you much as far as points wise most of the time, but he's going to go ahead and make someone's life miserable. And Jalen Williams is just a steady force for them as a big man coming off the bench. But that's not even counting who's in the starting lineup right now. AJ Mitchell, a second rounder in last year's draft. Had the Lakers even thought about moving up in the second round of draft last year, they could have had an opportunity to get him instead of Bronny James. But instead, there you are. AJ Mitchell now at the highest point, one of the highest points of this, the playoffs, right here in the second round. He is killing it as far as and destroying the Lakers and taking them off the dribble each and every time out and making the Lakers just inadequate. They're slowing down SGA, but they're not being able to slow down anyone else instead.
Yeah, I mean, that's even worse. That's a second rounder out there cooking you. It just shows how good Sam Presti is as a GM. He did a really good job in that draft. Really, really good job. He done drafted good, but the reality is it's starting to set in with the team. And I mean, the truth has always kind of been there. It took some people a little while to realize it too, though. But it is what it is. Got to draft better. You got to draft better. You got to do a lot better, and picking your free agencies and a lot of things. But it's all you can really do. This summer is the time to try to fix a lot of your issues.
Black is saying, why didn't you? I mentioned Rui was a minus 19 earlier. I mentioned the fact that Austin Reeves, despite his 31 points, was a minus 20 on the floor. LeBron himself, 23 points, minus 9 out there as well. Jake LaRavia, a minus 14 in his 10 minutes that he was out there. Luke Kennard, 26 minutes, minus 15. Jackson Hayes was a minus 11 in his 15 points. Nothing that the Lakers tried today, Legend, kept the Lakers within the game. And that's just a simple fact. Once that lead started to balloon up in that third quarter, the Lakers, again, they valiantly tried to make a comeback at the start of the fourth quarter and got it to 5. But it's like what Joe was saying. It's like another switch that they go to when they need to against this team. They're seemingly not concerned with whatever the Lakers are throwing at them because they seemingly can turn on a switch and go to another level at any given point in time. Oh, no worries, Black. All good. All good.
And you know the other part, Gerald, that's really bad about this loss too is OKC shot terrible from three. Like at the beginning of that game, they were struggling from 3-point range. So they could have capitalized on that too. That was a chance to capitalize on that moment while they was out there struggling from 3-point range. I think at that point, AJ Mitchell was the only one that was shooting pretty decently from 3-point range. And then the second half, when everyone else started finding their rhythm, but Lakers just missed a lot of opportunities, and same thing happened in game one, happened again. Second half, they boosted up that lead, game over. Ain't no looking back.
JY, before I go into that, because I know you said, do you guys think OKC is an all-time great team with the Bulls, Warriors, Lakers? Let's get them to those titles first. Let's get multiple titles before we have that conversation. Let's get the rings, because we see even people we're talking about the Warriors that year that they won 72
79 win.
Yeah. The one where they won 73 wins. Yeah. And everybody was saying greatest team all time, and what ended up happening. So let's put this on the back burner before we start anointing them. But right now they look pretty damn good. But here today to go ahead and discuss today's game. Good man indeed. As I said at the beginning of the show, I don't know if everybody heard me. He had his latest Joe Soro experiment. Don't look at the thumbnail too long. Because it's kind of scary, because it does look like he was trying to channel William Peterson from CSI. It is, of course, Joe Soro. Joe, glad to have you here. You do look in that photo like you were channeling William Peterson from CSI. I almost went, who are you? It just felt like you were going to go ahead and just, go to a murder scene or something like that. But Joe, glad to have you here. You got to admit it does. When you look at it now, you got to admit it does. But I will ask you this. The Lakers, they kept it close for a half. They pulled it up to 5 as far as a 5-point lead in the third quarter, let it get away from them at the halfway through into the end of the third quarter until they tried to reel it back in with a comeback in the fourth, but it was just too much talent, too much execution on both ends for OKC, and the Lakers just do not have enough seemingly to keep up with OKC.
No, they don't. It's
sloppy ball too, sloppy play as well.
There was a play where DeAndre Ayton fumbled, and that was after that play that I thought that was it.
I thought the Chet Holmgren 3 was it for me when they went from 5 to 8, because that started a big run for OKC.
But it's not. It would have eventually happened. Oklahoma City's not playing 100% right now. They're at 80. If they wanted to really play, they're probably blowing this team out. I think they're holding back a little bit so that they can be really fresh for the final 2 series. And that's what the depth allows them to do. They played a Phoenix team that had no business being in the playoffs, and the Lakers team that's debilitated. If Luka was playing, obviously, it'd be a little bit more of a challenge, but I think they'd still lose that series with Luka, probably in 5. And if they got lucky getting one more, in 6 for sure. I don't really. There's a lot of talk and chatter about the referees and what's going on there, and I'm a little over that discussion in the 35 years I've been watching basketball as a coherent adult. it's tiring at how much control the refs have in a game. And I would implore the National Basketball Association Players Union to figure out how to get this garbage that takes forever to finish done. Do that first. And for the love of God, enough of these falling down on the ground and being and acting like you just got hit by a bat in the back of the head. Enough of this. You can't police that, but geez, I don't have any sympathy for any of them. LeBron, Chet Holmgren, that poser freaking bum. He should get fined for that. They had a $5,000 fine thing a few years back. Do they still implement that?
Not to my knowledge.
And by the way, what's with the $5,000? What is that going to do? These guys make $5,000 sitting on the bench, acting like they're hurt half the year. I don't even know how to. I don't even know the logic in that. But that Chet Holmgren play needs to be. It really, really needs to be dealt with, and get the game going, dude. Get the game going. There was some momentum before that stupid, idiotic replay to see if Shea Gilgeous was flagrant fouled on. You ruined the momentum of the game. This is the playoffs. You want to do that garbage in the regular season? I don't give a damn. But this thing needs to go, dude. Baseball's figured it out. How come you guys can't? It's no wonder that baseball's starting to get more eyes now on it versus basketball. Is that not a coincidence? We don't want to sit here and watch a couple of goons at a table trying to think about what's going on in the game. If you have to replay a flagrant foul, is it a flagrant foul? No. It's easy to slow things down and imagine this and that. Like, dude, a flagrant foul needs to be called on that, like on it. I would rather them be wrong 20% of the time than having to wait 15 minutes for the game to go on. This is a playoff game, and it ruined the momentum. The Lakers were playing pretty well at that moment. They were going back and forth. I'm not blaming the game, the loss of it on that, but it plays a part. You're sitting there with your hand up your butt, waiting for some stupid call that ended up being nothing anyways. If you can't see a flagrant foul live, is it a flagrant foul? No, it's not. Stop putting a replay on every damn play in basketball. Let the damn game go. Toughen these guys up. LeBron, get your ass up. You weren't even hurt on that play. You should get fined for that too. It's everything in life. I wish I could go back in time in 1980 to hear what the adults were saying at that time. This is everything is just, and I'm trying to hold myself from cursing, trying to be a better person on the air. Seriously, I'm not joking. But the amount of just soft wussies that continue to just form. How is a man who's 6'8", 270 so pathetic like that? I could sort of see it with Chet Holmgren. The guy looks like he doesn't eat half the week. I don't even know if he gets any sun. Grow some freaking sack, man. I'm just tired of this weak, soft. Everybody's weak and soft. It's tiring. These guys are supposed to be gladiator athletes, freakish athletes. Yet they're the softest freaking people on earth. That's probably the most frustrating part about this game, because y'all gotta, most of you, if you really dig deep into your head, dude, the Lakers are not winning a game in this series. Something would have to happen in that the Lakers don't miss for an entire game, which it's just not possible. They don't have that kind of arsenal. So can we get at least some toughness? I with JJ Redick's attitude and going off on the refs, fine. You want to do that every once in a while, that's fine. But you need to start talking to these coaches. Need to start talking to their players. Hey, man, get the hell up when you get hit. Okay, if you don't get hit in the freaking nose like Rudy Tomjanovich, you got to get up. Enough of this staying on the ground for 10 minutes. And for the love of God, please, the Players Association, fix this damn replay problem. If the NBA is not going to do it, you need to demand this. Well, they don't give a damn. They're making their money, right?
And I understand the refereeing has been bad, and I understand that the
refereeing has always been bad.
My
gripe is, can you stop with the 10-minute, 15-minute, 40-minute replays in the middle of a moment? It's in the middle of a moment. There's momentum going on, and you ruin it. And this has been going on too long. They need to fix this now. They need to fix it today. Enough of replaying everything. If you're worried about a bunch of media hacks criticizing you and a bunch of morons on X criticizing you, then you have dumber problems in your head. You have worse problems. Make the game entertaining. Stop the damn replay on a flagrant foul. If you can't see a flagrant foul live, it's not a flagrant foul.
All that aside, Joe, all the bad refereeing in the world or replays in the world it just can't defend for the fact that the Lakers have lost by a combined 36 points in OKC as they head back to Los Angeles. So the difference in talent is there. Okay, we get Luka back, but they don't have Jalen Williams back. So let's say everybody's at full health. I still think the Lakers are going back to LA 0-2. That's the problem. That's where we're at, because again, when the Lakers have someone that's not quite working out, JJ does not have as many options to go to that will work out. Whereas Mark Dagnall, where he can go to somewhere else. Okay, they're doubling on SGA. Chet's hitting wide open threes, or he's hitting shots from the lane. He's shooting with big touch. Then there's AJ Mitchell, a guy that they got in the second round of last year's draft, the same round and same draft, mind you, a little sooner, but the same round, the same draft as Bronny James. And he's hitting for 20 in this game and constantly going by the Lakers guards to get layup after layup. And okay, they go to their bench and they get a guy that they got on, I guess, of course, for a first round draft pick, but still essentially on a dime, because they have a ton of first round draft picks in Jared McCain. He comes off the bench and along with Cason Wallace absolutely dismantles whoever's coming off the Lakers bench. It's just frustrating because the Lakers just don't seem to have as many answers, because there's just too many questions that the OKC Thunder are providing.
There's not enough talent on this team. The Dalton Connects have become a bust. Adu is too young. He's not going to be effective probably for another year or two. Jackson Hayes has played his best playoff basketball in his career now, but he's limited. You don't have anybody. Laravia has been a disaster this last second half of the year. Austin Reeves came out, took to heart what was going on, people making fun of him, had his best playoff game ever. Rui was making shots, but didn't get enough attempts in my view. The defense was on him. When he started hitting a few shots, nothing he can do there. Marcus Smart playing his heart out, couldn't shoot tonight. That happens. DeAndre Ayton, I'd say, was the guy that could have maybe gave them a chance a little bit to maybe make something, and he was an absolute disaster.
1 of 7.
It wasn't the one at 7. It was the inability to guard his man, and also the difference between him and Chet is Chet can get he can go out and spread the offense a little bit and open the lanes a little bit, and he makes those shots. He was making shots pretty regularly. It's not. This is. I'm tired of the referee discussion in the NBA. It's the same story year in and year out. The team that's the team to beat, oh, they're getting favored to play. Even if it's true to some degree, I don't want to hear it anymore. What I want this damn league to get tough and to stop wasting my time. Enough of the soft crap. Enough of Chet Holmgren acting like he got hit in the face when he didn't. And LeBron, get the hell up. For the love of God, you do this every single game. Enough. Enough of the soft stuff. Enough of stopping the game and having a sabbatical right in the middle of a game, especially a NBA playoff game where a team was keeping up there a little bit and it all got zapped. Just sick of this. Everything is just garbage, man. Everything is just lackluster, mediocre. It's all Walmart quality garbage. That's my problem. That's my problem. And the Lakers just they played their hearts out, man. They did. They've been playing their hearts out for a while now.
No, I'm not questioning their effort in any way in these first 2 games, Joe. You can't.
Yeah, you can't. So you wanted this team to maybe get closer towards the end. You can't have 2 of your starters not able to shoot when your bench can't shoot or play at all. I mean, I guess you could say Kennard was in there, but Kennard is limited again in one side of the court, and even when he is shooting from 3 and he was pretty good for the small amount of time he played, he's not overly athletic, and there's a lot of athletes on Oklahoma City's teams where they can stay in front of him at least and cause him issues with a clean look. The Lakers have too many deficiencies because they don't have enough impact players. LaRavia is not an impact player. Connect is dead. Fierro's too young. Jackson Hayes is too limited. Luke Kennard, we have only really a 3-month sample size with him. He might get better as maybe the year go on if he comes back. Who else do you have after that? That's it. What does Oklahoma City have? They have McCain. They have Wallace. They have Isaiah Joe. They have Caruso. They have Jalen with the Y Williams. Oh, and by the way, they also have Lou Dort in there and AJ Mitchell. And these guys all can score. I didn't even mention Aaron Wiggins or Kenrick Williams. Although I don't know Kenrick Williams not yet. But these guys have 9 to 10 deep. The Lakers have 5 deep, according to their team. I don't even call it 5 deep. It's really 3. I trust 3 guys really on the team from a game-to-game basis. Sometimes 4. So the Lakers have 2 more games left in the season. I'm looking forward to seeing them try to do it the best they can the next few games, try to enjoy the game as much as I can. But the season is going to end at the beginning of next week. And that's when my interest is going to be at peak. I want to know what's going to happen next. And that'll be the topic more so than actually what ends up happening with the championship. No one cares about Oklahoma City. Very few people care about the San Antonio Spurs. I know this because I was around with the Spurs dynasty or the Tim Duncan dynasty of the 2000s. No one cared about San Antonio. When San Antonio was going to the finals, playing Detroit, playing Cleveland, playing the Nets, no one cared about those finals. They just didn't. And Tim Duncan's the kind of guy you want to be a face of the league, but he's just not that guy. He's not a box office guy. I used to call him he's the guy that kills it with Oscar winning movies, but Oscar winning movies typically aren't box office. Kobe was box office and a good actor. Equivalent of that. Shaq, same thing. So I'm excited, and maybe that's part of why I'm not too bothered by what's going on right now. Maybe it hasn't settled in. Maybe I've just accepted it. But I'm excited about the first phase of, well, technically it's going to be the second phase because Luka's really the first phase. First phase is the Lakers got a superstar in his prime, but right before his prime, actually, now about to enter his prime, real prime. Now it's time to start stacking. Do you stack with a bunch of guys like Oklahoma City, where it's just a bunch of really, really good players and then one star? Chet Holmgren, some could argue, might end up being the second star, sure, but right now he's not. Right now he's the second best player on the team behind Shai Gilgeous, in my view. And then everyone else is really, really good. And that's probably the way it's going to have to go, especially with how the current CBA is. However, Oklahoma is an interesting exception in that. They got so much draft capital in that the last few years because of the idiots in LA, the Clippers, that is, that I don't know is it possible? Maybe, because a lot of these guys are second-round picks. Some are free agents. A couple of them are low-teen picks. Maybe just a tad bit lower, maybe even 10 and 11 picks. But I'm interested in seeing what the decision with LeBron's going to be. Is LeBron really does he want to be a part of what's coming? Because it looks like Luka likes LeBron. It looks like Austin likes LeBron, and they all like each other. Does LeBron take less money? And the question you have to ask yourself as a Laker fan, and there's no wrong answer here. If you are a Laker fan and you're like, Joe, it's time to move on from LeBron. Even if he can play, even if he takes a pay cut, totally get it. Totally understand why. Because it's like, you just got to get out sometimes. You got to trade Montana and just let Steve Young do his thing. You got to trade Peyton Manning because Andrew Luck is coming. It's just
you just got to cut that umbilical cord and just
correct. You're not wrong. Again, guys, in life, sometimes both things are right. Sometimes both people are right. I think that's an interesting thing to think about in life, because sometimes there's this duality that someone has to be wrong and someone has to be right. This isn't futures investing, guys. Someone doesn't have to lose for you to win. In real life, sometimes both sides are right. Now, my feeling on it is, you knew where I was before. I wanted LeBron gone because I was tired of the circus, but he has grown on me in the last 3.5 months.
Because the circus has not been in town. It's
Correct.
just been him.
Correct. And at the same time, I'm also factoring in, who are you going to get that's better than him in the offseason? That's a question that I don't have an answer, by the way. I'm just asking that question because that's a question that's popped up in my head. Are you going to get someone that's better than him? That's something to consider. And then, of course, Austin Reeves. Thank you, Austin, for coming through finally tonight. He played his rear end off. He made shots, and I think he's kind of gotten a little bit of a raw deal here. He has been playing hurt, and my issue with that is, again, I think he needs to continue to develop. I think the extracurricular activities needs to be put aside, and I think this summer he needs to tell me, if I was the GM of the Lakers, first question I'm going to ask him is, are you going to work on your jump shot this summer? I'm not going to give you the max, though. I can't afford it, not in this climate. I'll give you more money I'll give you $1 more than anybody will give you, but I need to know also that you're going to shoot better next year, because that's what's going to advance his game. That's what's really going to turn him into if he wants to be a perennial all-star, not just 1 year here and there, and he'll stay healthier, Gerald. He'll stay healthier. He doesn't have to grind as much if he gets a jump shot. A lot of those points that he gets getting to the basket, a lot of those bump and grind moves and the N1s, after a while, they take their toll. The torque in the leg, the pivots, the jumps, the contact, the elbows, the knees, everything. Imagine now if you took 20% of that during an 82-game season and you created a shot.
All right. And you took a shot to do what?
I don't know. I don't remember what I was saying.
But I will say this, Austin Reeves, yeah, the problem is, though, can he shoot efficiently on more than just on a once every 3-4 times basis? Because it's seemingly that has been an issue, like you said, working on his jump shot indeed. And again, if you're going to commit that much money to him, defense is still an issue as well, as we saw at periods of time and tonight, and the sloppiness with the ball as far as the turnovers as a team, Joe. 21 turnovers led to a point differential as far as points off of turnover at 12. 12 points. You lost 12 points in turnovers as far as it's concerned, because they outscored you by 12 points off of turnovers. That's a problem that the Lakers knew ahead of time they had to clean up. But with Austin getting 5 turnovers, LeBron and Marcus 3 each, it's just the sloppiness that continues to bite the Lakers when they need it, when they don't need to do it the most.
They are who they are. They're a 20 turnover a game team. They won a series playing like that against Houston. What that will do is it has to tell the general manager that there's 2 things that they need to do. Number one, they got to get offensive rebounding figured out. This is getting tired now. A lot of the reasons why they actually lost tonight was they stopped them and then they got an offensive rebound and boom, hit a 3. That needs to stop. The next studs that come into the Laker organization, they need to get wing players that can rebound. That is key. Shoot. I'd rather focus on getting wings that can shoot and get rebounds versus having stout defensive prowess. You're seeing what good team defense can be with even not so much guys that are defensive type players. LeBron is long in the tooth. Austin's not going to shut down anybody. DeAndre Ayton isn't going to scare anybody. Marcus Smart obviously has a little bit of that left, even though he's a little out of his prime in that. But as someone who's athletic and young, you can teach really good team defense with. I want forwards that can rebound. And if you can get lucky and draft a center that can shoot and rebound, then that adds more value to eliminating that problem. But those 2 things in terms of actual play that need to be solved, those are the 2 main ones. Absolutely 2 main ones. Got to stop the offensive rebound killers. And
well, again, the Lakers had more offensive rebounds than Oklahoma City, but it's when those offensive rebounds happen, like you've said before. It's not just the fact that the number, because again, the Lakers had more offensive rebounds than OKC. It's just when are they happening as far as those offensive rebounds are concerned.
And no block shots tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
So no fear going to the basket. They had 1 extra offensive rebound. I don't know necessarily if that's constitutes as something dramatic, but 20 turnovers to their 12. So minus 8 in that department. And if they score 2 on the average, 2 points on each of those 8, now you're looking at a 16-point swing. What did they lose by?
18. They've lost by 36 as a combined in OKC.
Yeah. This is the 6th straight loss against Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City has taken the place of the Denver Nuggets for the Lakers in terms of their issues.
Ask Angel. I don't think, Vando would have been nice as an extra body out there, but I don't think we were missing Vando too much because, again, Vando can't give you help as far as scoring the basket and can't give you the kind of help you need in certain situations that they're looking for. And so Vando, again, the athleticism and the activity he gives you something. But as Joe and I have talked about, there's so many detriments to his game that really hold him back from really being able to make a consistently good contribution for the Lakers. But I do hope he gets better. He was listed as doubtful. He did not make it, but Luke Kennard with his neck issue, at least he played, got back into a rhythm at least, only took 5 shots, but he did get 10 points for the Lakers. But Joe, I'm going to leave you with this. Let's go ahead and then shut it down after this question I want to give you. And that is, I know coming in, you and I both coming in knew that that this would be the most likely outcome as far as what's going on with this team and the series. Do you consider any kind of moral victory in this situation? Because, again, a 4th place team heading against to a 1st place team as dominant as the OKC has been. This was what was expected, but I don't want to put a smiley face on this season when the Lakers are used to being at a much higher level, Joe. 17 times we've reached the pinnacle. It's really hard for a team and a fan base like ours to accept moral victories, even when we're trying to create them in a situation like this.
No. I've never related to a moral victory. Brain doesn't compute. Brain doesn't compute moral victories like I can't compute tanking, even though I knew it was a necessity at one point to get the high pick, but it was eating the insides out. Losing is a disease. Losing is similar to being a cheap bum, not a literal bum. I'm talking about someone who's frugal, someone who's looking for a constant cheap way of doing things. I don't like cheap people. And I have some friends of mine that are frugal like that. And I want to, I can't go out with those guys like to a party or to an event because I want to kick them in the face for being who they are. Good people, but there's certain things you can do with good people that there's also things you can't do. And that's what I mean by that. So I kind of constitute losing as in the same realm. Like I can't be around losers. I can't be around a loser thing. It eats at my insides. I'd say the only thing worse than losing is losing when you're supposed to win. That's worse. That's worse. But it's still bad. It's still losing. And I've asked myself this question because I believe I got lucky. Pops, God rest his soul, picked great teams to follow. I'm a diehard fan of the 3 teams I follow in the 3 major sports. Only in those sports do I have a diehard team: the Steelers, the Lakers, and the Dodgers. I am invested. I spend a lot of time supporting those teams. I don't know how I would be if I was following the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know how I would be if I was following I'm not going to pick New Orleans or Charlotte because, well, Charlotte's been around for a while, sort of. But let's pick a team like Phoenix, both in Arizona. Phoenix has been around since the 1968-69 season. They haven't won anything. They've never won a championship. They've gone to 3 finals, lost all 3. What would my mentality then be? Would I still be following Phoenix? I'll never know that. So I am in this situation, and now it's storied franchise in football, storied franchise in basketball, storied franchise in baseball. Winning becomes a birthright in my view sometimes. So I was birthrighted 3 iconic franchises who win a lot. And I just happened to be in the era of them winning a lot. They Dodgers won a lot before. You know, they won. Sandy Koufax won 4 World Series, and Don Drysdale, and there was an era there. Obviously, the Lasorda teams won in 81 and 88. But in knowing that history, I don't think we're going to see those teams ever touch what the current Dodger team is going to be. This current Dodger team may rival the greatest dynasties in baseball history with how their path is going. Lakers, I don't need to explain the Lakers situation. The Lakers are, in my view, and really common sense view, the greatest basketball franchise that's ever been created. Even though the Celtics have a ring ahead of us, the Lakers are much more global and have an argument of literally having every top 5 player as a Laker. You could have that argument. For sure 4, because you got to put Michael Jordan in there, but 4 out of the 5. You have a legitimate argument that you could have all Lakers on that team next to Michael. So, and then the Steelers, we all know the Steelers. Steelers are the winningest team, I think, since the merger, since the Super Bowl was implemented. And that's all I know, Gerald, winning. And then in life, I win every day, health-wise, people around me wise. So now, what do you want me to do now? You want me to just accept losing? You want me to, I've won enough, Gerald. Guys, I'm 48. I've won enough. That's how it works. I'm still mad about losses in 04, in 08, in 17, in 18, in Super Bowl 45. Those still gnaw at me. They still gnaw at me. 91 loss to Jordan still gnaws at me. Hell, the 89 loss still bothers me, even though I wasn't paying attention at the time. The 84 loss to the Celtics still bothers me. James Worthy just needed to just get the ball to the right guy. They go up 2-0 in Boston. They win that series. Like the all likelihood that Magic never loses the bird in any series or any game. Anyways, that's where I'm at. I hope that was a nice button to end the show. Winning is an addiction. My drug, I would say, in life is winning. That's my drug. And I watch every game because of that addiction. I don't have any say in it. I can't get my hands in it. But the competitiveness that's there, it's a competitive addiction. And the winning and the supporting and the adulation at the end, the excitement and the camaraderie that now has continued to be building because of our community. Dodger community was never that big for me because baseball seems to kind of pass people by as they get older because they're stupid. A lot of them, again, are my friends. So the fact that I've met our community, guys like you, guys like Empire Jeff, guys that I can actually have a conversation with about baseball. That was very hard for years to find good conversation consistently about baseball. Basketball, football are easy. But I couldn't find anyone that talked baseball, except for certain friends of mine here and there. But it was never like how we are. So that's fun. That adds to the excitement even more as things develop.
I'll just leave it with this Stefan Piscano podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. He's available on YouTube today. He said if Kawhi Leonard had not forced the Clippers to do this nonsense, not only, i.e. the trade that brought Paul George to the Clippers, that brought back many assets, including SGA to OKC. Not only would the Thunder not be the Thunder, but Leonard would be playing with SGA and have massive draft capital. Kawhi single-handedly, stop right there. I'm saying I'm going to paraphrase what he's going to finish on that. It's saying built OKC. All I say to that is don't blame Kawhi for having aspiration to be a Clipper. By the way, big shout out to Pablo Torre, Joe, because he won a Pulitzer Prize this past weekend for his reporting on the Clippers. An actual Pulitzer Prize, one of the few sports writers or sports stories to actually get a Pulitzer Prize in history.
The Clippers got the Lakers. It's just not how you thought it would be. The Clippers got to the Lakers at the expense, and this is such a Clipper thing to add to this. The Clippers got the Lakers, but they fell on their own sword. That's how they did. That's how they beat the Lakers in that transaction. See, we were tunnel vision like most people. Oh, for the Clippers to get over on the Lakers, they'd have to beat the Lakers like normal stuff, right? But they didn't. What they did was by sending the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the entire house, the garage, the Maserati, everything to Oklahoma. They fell on their own sword, and in return, kept Kawhi away from being a Laker and created what likely will be a multiple champion in Oklahoma City. I don't know how many multiples, but I think they're going to have multiples at some point here, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. If Kawhi goes to the Lakers in 2020, they obviously win in 2020 because they won without him. Even and you have to look at it this way too. If he's on that team, yes, we know that Anthony Davis got hurt in 2021, but you also have to factor in that if you have Kawhi Leonard on that team with LeBron and AD, now you have a much easier time to manage things versus having to have AD in there. And could they have won a championship without AD and Kawhi is there? Hey, 2021 was a crapshoot too. Who knows what happened? At the same time, what happened the following year? They acquired Russell Westbrook, and that eventually was what killed the LeBron era in LA in terms of winning championships at this moment. So what would have happened is, number one, Oklahoma City would have never become what they've become. Lakers would have more than likely had more than one championship in the LeBron era, possibly three, probably. And who knows where we're at? And we missed out probably on at least one Boston versus LA final in that area too. The Clippers destroyed a lot of things. They messed up the Lakers. They handed Oklahoma City a potential dynasty, and they deprived the NBA of a Lakers-Celtic final, maybe one, maybe two, maybe even a Western Conference Finals matchup with Golden State. That would have been epic. A lot of things got ruined by the Clippers. A lot of things.
But they did get Pablo Torre a Pulitzer Prize.
Congratulations to him individually, but I don't give a damn about Pablo and his Pulitzer.
Like you, I was just trying to put a button on it. Indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers losing 125-107. They head back to LA. For game 3 on Saturday, down 2-0 in what will be the most critical game of the entire season. Because if the Lakers go down 3-0, that's all she wrote. And we're not going to sit here and insult anyone's intelligence on that. The odds tell you themselves that they can't get it done if they're down 3-0. But if they win, who knows? Who knows what happened? But we'll be back on Saturday to go ahead and make sure you get prepped up as far as is concerned for what's going on. And we give you a recap of the game and our thoughts as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget also as well, I host Lakers Latest every morning, bringing you the latest information on what's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. Joe Soro has a Joe Soro experiment right there, channeling his inner William Peterson from CSI right there on the.
It's more from Manhunter, in my view.
I got to take a look at the CSI promos as far as the covers for each season.
I remember. I know. I remember those covers.
He did the sunglasses on CSI. He didn't do it on Manhunter. I'll just leave it at that. But again, it is, of course, although excellent movie Manhunter. Really underrated movie Manhunter. Yes. I'll just say that. But of course, it is Joe Sorrell. Please go ahead and check him out at the Joe Sorrell Experiment. Also, as well, the 3-minute report from our good friend John Costa, who could not be here tonight. Legend with I Got Next Sports Media, and everyone else who gives us a hand. I do not know about the Lakerholics on Saturday. Hopefully, I'll know something here in the next couple of days and be able to set up something for them as far as it's concerned. But otherwise, we got you covered on Saturday night with Game 3. And what will go down in as the game that the Lakers have to win. It's a must win. The Lakers' backs are against the wall. What will happen? We'll find out. And we'll be here to cover it all right here on the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
I'm trying to look for the one with the glasses. I can't find it. I think I know what oh, there it is. It's season 3.
It's CSI. It's CSI, man.
It's season 3. That's the one that looks close.
See, I told you.